Okay, that's enough of the theatrics, but I do have the Jumper T18. It has arrived. It took 1 month exactly to come from China. What a rigmarole. Anyway, but here it is on the bench in all its faux carbon gloriousness. Look at it. There we go. Now, this is just an intro video. I just want to give you my first impressions because I haven't had a chance. It only arrived yesterday. Haven't had a chance to pull it apart, rip into it, do a deep dive, but I just want to give you my first impression. So let's take a look. And here is the radio. Yeah, I've got a battery in it, turned it on, seems to work. But I want to run through some of the things that I've noticed already. First thing is this little jog wheel here. It's terrible. And I think, look at the slop in it. That's awful. And it's kind of disappointing because the original Jumper T16 had a similar problem. The little jog wheel, it wasn't very good. And they actually sent out replacements. They sent me, as a reviewer, they sent me a replacement, an update to the T16 to make it better. And it seems made the same mistake twice in a row. They're not learning from their mistakes, which is a little bit of a problem. But hey, let's just ignore that for the time being. Styling, you'll love it or you hate it. You either love the faux carbon or you think it's really cheap and tacky. I'm ambivalent. I'm not torn either way. It's fine. What does worry me a little more is that a lot of the radios, like even the Jumper T16S there, black. I mean, I'm not a fan of black because I like to fly on warm sunny days, and black just gets hot. You leave this in the sun, it's going to get hot. And it's like FPV goggles. They used to all be black until, I don't know, it's funny that I said it's about time someone made some white FPV goggles for the same reason. You fly in the sun, you don't want them all overheating. And lo and behold, Fat Shark shifted to white and Sky Zone went to white. So maybe I had some influence, I hope. If that's the case, please give us some more color options than just black. Black is, and who knows. Anyway. There's a lot of bling in this transmitter. Look, the T16 or 18, is it 18? I have to close look. That's an 8, but it's really kind of a strange 8. T18, it lights up, but you can turn it off inside. Same with the backlighting and all these little switches and things. It's a nice touch, but if again, you either love it or you think it's just so gaudy, but you can turn it off, which is great. Mind you, you're paying for the LEDs and all the engineering that goes to make these backlit, so that could affect the value to some people. But I want to talk about ergonomics. Ergonomics is where radios are made or broken. And when it comes to ergonomics, okay, it's a pretty standard jumper setup. You've got the same set of switches as you get on a Tyrannus X9D or on your old jumper or on a Radio Master. You got the 2-position switch. All the others are 3-position, except this one, which is momentary hold, spring-loaded 2-position. Okay, good as gold. You got these little button. Oh, look, I've done something wrong. I've accidentally made it happen. You got these little multi-position switches here that you can select. The backlighting on those is not very bright, actually. It doesn't really stand out much. In sunlight, I don't think you'd be able to see which of these is actually operative. It's a bit of a shame because this is nice.
Transmitter battery low.
I know. Oh, I've turned it off because otherwise it's going to be annoying. But yeah, that didn't seem to light up very brightly. So in sunlight, you probably won't be able to see those. We'll find out when we go and try it out in the sun later on. This is all kind of subdued, which is kind of nice. I don't like stuff that stands out too much. With the lights off, it looks pretty damn good. Nice big speaker grill. That's a bonus. That's a positive. 3 positions for your neck strap if you're a neck strapper. I'm a thumber, so I don't use a neck strap. We've got, same as before, we've got sliders here, like that. Slider, twirly knobs. I don't know why you use twirly knobs. I've never ever used a twirly knob in my life. But they're there if you want them. And this is another thing that I'm a bit disappointed in. And when Jumper brought out the T16, one of the faults I said it had at the time was the sliders had a very poor center detent, right? So you can't really feel the center position on the sliders very well at all. And that's a worry because I like to use my sliders for flaps. And I like to have up flap and down flap sometimes. You use up flap, you can kill the lift on a glider, bring it in really, lose a lot of height really, really quickly. But you need a solid, firm center on a slider if you're going to use it for that purpose. The original Jumper had really poor centering. This is no better. It's no better. I did complain about it. They haven't listened. They've just gone on. They didn't learn from that. They haven't learned from this. That's a worry. And also, even knobs like this, having a center detent is really quite important. Now, this one feels like it's got kind of a detent, but it's so vague. The same, no, that one doesn't have any detent. It's just like it's kind of notchy, all the way around. It feels notchy. So there's no center detents, no useful center detents on these, which limits their use again, because you want to be able to set them, even if you're using these for flaps, which I don't recommend, you need to have a center position that's really, really firm and almost clicks into place. Doesn't happen. Bit of a shame. So yeah, hey-ho. Now, up the top here, we've got a whip antenna. I'll talk more about that in a moment. You've got a little rubber thing here where you can plug in USB-C and I don't know if that's a trainer or whatever. I haven't even looked. Doesn't have any, there's no legend on there, so unless you know what it is, no, maybe it's just, I don't know. It's not written on there, so, which is kind of strange because all these switches have the backlit switch emblems, but this one, you don't know what it is. So, never mind. And then we've got an antenna on here, but that, depending on the model of radio you buy, that may or may not be a 2.4 gigahertz antenna, because this comes in 3 flavors, chocolate, strawberry, and raspberry. No, it doesn't. Comes in the light, the standard, and the pro, I think. In the light edition, this is going to be your 2.4 gigahertz antenna. In the standard and the pro, it's not. It's going to be a 915 megahertz transmitter antenna. So you're going to be a bit careful. You don't want to mix these up. Because if you use the wrong antenna, you get really crap range. Now, this one has the 5-in-1, I believe. I haven't opened the back, as I said, only just got it. So we're just first impressions, which means that you don't want to leave the 2.4 antenna on there. You want to put this 915 megahertz antenna on there, because in theory, it will work with the FrSky R9. Why on earth you'd want to use FrSky R9, I do not know. I've played with R9, I've played with Crossfire. Crossfire wins hands down in every respect. So, yeah, if you were going to buy one of these, you know, you make your own mind up which model you want. The Pro model has Hall effect gimbals, and interestingly enough, this is the stock one. This is the, I don't know how this works, because this apparently has the 5-in-1 module, but it came with standard sticks, and they sent the Hall effect sticks in a separate box for me to install myself if I feel like doing so, and here they are. So I can plug those in, screw them in place. Simple Hall effect sticks. Yeah, nothing to see here. It's all pretty normal stuff. Other reviewers have said they like the sticks on the jumper. I actually prefer the Radio Master sticks, to be totally honest. And I'll get into that in a later video. But other thing that noticed, and I said Jumper didn't listen about the sliders, and they don't listen at all, actually, to be honest, because this was sent on the 2nd of June, and when it obviously wasn't going to show up for a month, I did email Jumper and say, hey, look, you know, everyone's getting these radios before me. I like to be able to do reviews, but I'm going to be last in the queue. No one will watch my review because you sent it TNT instead of DHL like I asked. So they don't listen when you ask them how to send it. And then also, when the Radio Master arrived, it's got Mode 1, iFly Mode 1. So they actually set it up Mode 1 for me. That's really, really nice. That's thoughtful. And they put RC model reviews on the little thing there. I don't know if you can see that. But these people don't listen at all. And so I got a Mode 2, which I'll have to change over. It's not a problem because I'm going to change the sticks anyway, but it's like, this is it, take it or leave it. We don't care whether you like it, which is not a good look to take. It's not a good approach to take with a reviewer. I would have thought with reviewers, you go out of your way to make them feel special, and you make sure the products you send them are top spec, top line. You don't say, oh, hey, by the way, you can put new sticks in if you want it better. But, you know, that's neither here nor there, I suppose, and it won't affect my review of the product. I'm going to look at it totally objectively as to, you know, what would you want? You know, will this be better than this? Because that's the real question people are going to be asking. You know, if I've got some money burning a hole in my pocket, do I buy the Jumper or do I buy the Radio Master? That's the question everybody's going to have on their lips. Look, put them side by side. Very similar looking radios. There are pros and cons to each. I've had a quick play with each of them, and there's things I love about this radio. There's things I love about this radio. There's things I hate about that, things I hate about that. So it's really, I can't say, buy this one, because for some people, that'll be better than that, and vice versa. That's why I'm doing the videos that are coming up next, which is the deep dives, the comparisons, the pros, the cons, the things that will be important to you if you're trying to make your mind up. And of course, just put the wild card in there. Maybe you want to buy one of those instead, the Tango 2. Some people, this is a better option. It's really kind of tricky, isn't it, working out what to buy, but bear with me. This is just my first impressions. And you know, first impressions are, all these radios give you so much bang for your buck. When I started, let me put my old man hat on. When I started in this hobby, my first radio control system was a 5-channel analog AM proportional system made by Futaba. It cost me $275. I think it was 1972 or 1971. And that was enough to buy a second-hand car. That was like really spending. These, you know, $100, $150 just depending on on which options you take. It's just so fantastic. I've even got JR9X2, which is a 9302, I think it was in America or something. And that cost me 600 New Zealand dollars, and I bought it in. If I'd bought it locally, it would have cost me $1,200 roughly. And it has none of these features. Compared to this, it's a crap radio with FM, terrible old thing. So we've come so far that it doesn't matter what you buy, you're gonna find it's an amazing amount of value for your buck. But like most people, you want to get that last little few percent out of the value of your dollar. So that's why I'm going to go through and compare these products. So hey ho, what I'd like you to do is go to the commenty bit down there and ask me some questions so that I can tell you what you want to know when I review these products and when I do the shootout and the deep dive, because you're the guys that are going to be looking at buying these things. I need to know exactly what you consider to be important. Otherwise, the videos would be 3 weeks long for each of them because there's so much we could talk about. But that's it for the time being. It arrived at long last, a month after it was sent. And when I turned it on, it went. What more could you wish for? There you go. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks to my Patreon supporters. You make this all possible. And stay tuned. Stay tuned. Comment and stay tuned, because we will be looking deeply at both of these radios. And to be honest, I like them both. But you'll find out which one I like the most. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now. Oh, did I mention the Jumper comes in a really nice little carrying case, which is fantastic if you're going to be throwing it in your backpack. If you want a case, this has got a case. And, of course, the ultimate accessory comes with stickers.